Okay, so I want to show you the two main differences when using keyframes in Quill. So as you can see here, apart from the layers that I have here, you can see that we have, let's say, two types of options, right? When we're working with the animation panel. All these ones right from here, there you can see there's an add keyframe, remove keyframe, duplicate keyframe. All these keyframes are related to the keyframes that we can create in the layer. Let's say if I'm gonna go simply and go to the first layer and create a keyframe, and I paint something, these are the keyframes. All these options here are related to. Now, these are what I call, layer keyframes, or in layer keyframes. So it's whatever is in the content of the layer, that is something that is creating a keyframe. It's like it is inside the layer, so it's data that is inside the layer. Now you have other type of keyframe that you have the interpolation keyframe. So in this case, if I have an object and I want to move it, instead of moving it, keyframe by keyframe, like if I'm gonna do through the, if I do it like I showed you before, you can move it with interpolation keyframes. So those are the ones below here. So it's easy to understand that, okay, this range is for inside the layer keyframes, and this is for interpolation keyframes. And in interpolation, you have two categories, basically the ones that are transform keys and then the opacity keys. So let's see the transform key. So you're gonna create a keyframe here, and now you're even gonna be that visually it looks different because it's like a little square, white square. And now I'm gonna just move, a couple of seconds, I'm gonna create another keyframe, and I'm gonna just move this. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm creating an interpolation between two keyframes, right? So this is one type of keyframe, interpolation, and then we have the different one like we showed before. So an easy way to see this is that you can combine both, like I'm doing here with the birds. One of the birds that I have here, and you can see it's basically created by a loop, and on top of the loop there's a transform keyframe. I'm gonna show you right here. As you can see, I have a transform keyframe there, and then I have different transform keyframes that I'm basically creating a big rotation. So let me quickly kind of recreate this. I'm gonna just, it's gonna be super fast. I'm gonna just kind of create a bird. So first of all, I'm gonna create the animation inside. So this is gonna be a keyframe. I'm gonna use the grab tool to do this. I'm gonna create a second keyframe. I'm gonna do this. Super rough, of course. I'm not trying to make any fancy animation here. It's just something super graph to kind of showcase the idea of combining two different type of layers of keyframes. So, oh, sorry. Super rough. So I have that, and I can now set, okay, I want this to loop. Let me just do a couple more. Okay, I want this to loop, so I wanna make sure that I'm gonna kind of loop in this sequence. I'm gonna put this inside a sequence layer. I'm gonna make sure that this is ending right at the end of my last keyframe. I'm gonna make it loop, and now as you can see, this is looping, right? So I have my bird, kind of a flapping wings animation. It is created with keyframes inside the layer. But now what I want to do is I'm gonna you know, I'm gonna be able to move around the bird, and I have different options you can do this. I'm gonna do it the same way I did there, so you can see exactly how I did it. First of all, I'm gonna try to make it, you know, fly in circles. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the pivot. Instead of being the center of the object, in this case the bird, I'm gonna put it like, let's say, right here. So now, if I create a you know, a first keyframe, and then I'm gonna go to 2 seconds, I'm gonna rotate this and create a different keyframe. Now, one thing important here is that make sure that you first create a keyframe and then you rotate. And you're gonna see that kind of a bounding box showing you like the ghosting of, you know, of the path of where the bird's going. Now I'm gonna do the same thing for 4 seconds. I'm gonna create a keyframe. Now, you know, I'm gonna keep kind of a, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna keep another keyframe, and then I'm gonna go one more, and I'm gonna do this, you know, here. So if I go play, well, this is super fast, that's not the idea, but you get the point. I could just make a drag this so it doesn't go that fast. Also, you're gonna see that you have a way to control at a certain point the type of interpolation that you can have between the different keyframes. So now, you know, you can see it is, you know, it is flapping the wings with its internal animation, and it's also moving, rotating with a different type of keyframe. So now you can have, you know, you can do much more, you know, combining these. We're gonna see that in more in depth, but here's how you know, a quick example of how you can use 2 different types of keyframes in Quill.